Racing project leader, what is it? What does it mean? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that is to ask somebody who is one, and of course, Paolo Bonora has that job for Aprilia. So I thought it'd be good to get him here and find out what it's all about. Firstly, welcome to Australia, Paolo.
Thanks so much. It is every time a pleasure to be here because I thought about many victories, in particular with the superbike here and also with the two-stroke motorcycle.
Well, absolutely, and we've got a whole range of different Aprilias and beautiful machines behind us right now. Yeah. But I want to know what it is to be a racing project leader. What is your job now?
Yeah, the project leader means that I follow the project inside the factory in Noale and in the racing circuit. So I manage the responsible of each area, the dynamic area, the electronic area and the engine area, at home and here in the truck.
On a production bike, there's so many different safety items. They have traction control like a race bike, they have engine braking assist like a race bike, IMU for the lean angle, all that sort of stuff, everything that the race bike has. But what is the real difference between the road bike electronic system and the MotoGP electronic system?
To be honest, the current level of the production series is so high that it's difficult to see from outside the differences. In a technical side, because we know how it is made, the main difference is the cost. Because the strategy, the electronic strategies, as you said correctly before, are quite the same. There are the traction control, the engine braking, the wheelie control, the anti-jerk strategy, the torque management system, and there is the IMU. But for sure, to be competitive in the production series, is necessary that the cost is acceptable by the customer. So, in particular, for example, an IMU in a racing bike costs $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. In a production bike, it can't be such a high cost. It costs less than $100. So this is the biggest difference. And then the difference is that the production bike is made to work in each situation without managing the different configuration inside the ECU and to follow the request of very different behavior riders. In the racing motorcycle, instead, we change the parameter race by race and corner by corner. So it is a different approach to the same strategy configuration.
The goalposts are continually changing in MotoGP, the rules are changing all the time, and less fuel is being given to the teams for the race distance. Fuel consumption is something that you have to consider when you're racing a MotoGP bike. That has to affect power.
Absolutely. Absolutely, the fuel consumption is one of the key to make a good race. In particular, there is a few races, Austria, Motegi, Buriram, that has such high consumption that needs to manage in particular the power.
Do they have automatic systems now that if, let's just say that you have more fuel than you need, it'll use more fuel?
Yeah. No. in the past there was this system when the electronic was free. But since 3 years ago, with the common ECU, the firmware is the same for every manufacturer, and there isn't this management. The only way to assist the rider that we have is make inside the dashboard, there is the computation about the remaining fuel. If the remaining fuel doesn't allow you to finish the race, there is the message fuel. But then there is no automatic way to change the strategy. It is only in the rider's hand.
Over a race weekend, there's so many different things to adjust, whether it be the suspension or the fairing, or you often hear. What is the most adjusted thing throughout the weekend to find those extra tenths of a second?
The key is to have already in the Friday the correct chassis setting, this for sure. Otherwise, you can adjust by electronic, but you miss the correct way. So, considering the experience, we arrive to the next track with already a chassis setting, and then we try to change small details on the chassis because it's necessary to give confidence to the rider. When the rider has the correct pace, we adjust the electronic typically, in particular the power and the TC.
When I take my bike to the workshop to get worked on, it's normally one mechanic that changes the spark plugs and whatever they do. But a Leish has more people than that. How many people does it take in the team to keep his bike on track through a race weekend?
There is the team is made by 10 people in the front, so 6 mechanics, 1 data guy, 1 electronic engineer, the crew chief, and the suspension guy. This is the guys in the front. But in the back, that you never see this guy, there are main engineer that work on electronic for sure. There is 2 people on electronic, one guy that work on the engine side, and 2 guys that work on the chassis analysis.
In 10 years' time, what do you think is going to be the next big thing? I mean, we've seen wings come on now. They've gone from 16-inch wheels to 17-inch wheels, but into the future, what do you think will be the next big invention?
Here in the meeting between the manufacturers, the common way of thinking is, please keep the regulation stable for the next years. So, in particular for the electronic side, the common way of thinking is don't change the current situation, because a stable situation gives the possibility to everybody to grow up. In my personal opinion, the next improvement will be for sure, as was in the past, the engine efficiency. So improve step by step the fuel consumption, and the tire management seems to be the key to be competitive, to understand the different tire in each track, which is the different temperature, as they works. So, in my personal opinion, regarding the regulation, there will not be such a big modification. But regarding the background work, background job, there will be an improvement on the tire analysis and the engine efficiency.
Right, thank you very much, Paolo. It's always a pleasure to have you here at Phillip Island in Australia, and get an insight into your world. Thank you for telling us what it's like to be a racing project engineer.